I'm Tap, and this is your spooky, scary Halloween Hidden Fish video. This is the 2018 Halloween event. It's different from any other event, so this is probably going to be a pretty long one. So I'm going to first explain just how the event goes in general. Then I'm going to explain the new hidden fish alone. Then I'm going to explain the hidden fall fish, because the fall fish are different, and if you did not get the fall fish last year, the unlocks are very difficult. So first thing you have to do is you have to get the map to view the different thing, right? And they seem to have changed the unlock requirement for the map. It seems to be really low, but just open up your Coralite menu, you know, down here, and like scroll down a little bit. You should see the baby Coralite saying, "Let me go, let me go." And you know, you let his people go, and he swims into the sea, and you get fresh water. And this apparently, maybe, I don't know exactly what point it unlocks. Some people report having trouble at like level 1000. Some people report not having trouble at level like 300. Their core requirement, if any, is like in the low hundreds, I think. So pretty much anyone should be able to get it. So the way this works, like I said, totally different from any other event. It's its own tank, which is pretty cool in some ways, a little frustrating in others. So first, let's just aesthetically take in the tank. I do find it's a little bit barren, especially in like this whole region is empty. There's a nice hill there, and the tank feels very crowded when you have a lot of fish. They feel like they swim a lot closer to the Coralite than they usually do. In the salt water, but I don't know. I do have 100 fish out, so I mean, it is a pretty busy tank regardless. This event is very strange in that it does not have any relation to the other tanks at all. So like the fish you purchase here are totally separate. So if you already purchased, say, I have like 100 bonefish, not 100, but you know, I have dozens of bonefish from the first Halloween event, right? Those do not count here. You have to recreate them new. It will unlock any fish that you got in previous events in here. So if you got one from the luck shell or from an event, you don't have to do its hidden fish unlock, if any. You can just buy it. And the fish costs, it basically works like vitality. So everything has the same cost, and it increases by several times each time you create one. So let's just create one. And candy has been nerfed. Candy, they basically found a sneaky way to erase our candy without making it look like they erased our candy. So basically, as you can see, I have 1 T candy. So basically, this works like the normal Coralite, more or less. You use candy to upgrade your Coralite, which is the witch's pot in this case, and the coral, which are these other things, you know, weeping tree and all that stuff. You use the candy to upgrade this and earn more vitality. You buy fish with vitality. Buying fish increases the candy that you get from clicking and from the trick or treat skill, which is the crab dance. So it's 2 currencies that feed directly into each other. You're never going to get lots of vitality without spending candy to upgrade these. You're never going to get lots of candy without spending your vitality on the fish. So there's no saving up anymore. Your candy is more or less already forfeit. I saved up like, you know, 2B, like 1B candy, because I used the Puffin exploit. And so all of your candy is forfeit, yes. Let the developers know on Facebook if, you know, that upsets you. But there's probably other things even bigger to get upset about. But for better or worse, they found a way to take everyone's candy away and make it not matter for the next event. Because surely the next event will just be a separate tank on here. You know, it'll just be a separate tank. Also, we don't know what happens to this tank once Halloween is over with. We don't know if the tank goes away. We don't know if you can use it, but you can't create things. We don't know if you can put the fish in your other tanks. At the moment, there's no interaction between tanks. If you purchase the in-app purchase fish in the Halloween thing, you can't put it in any of the other tanks, and you know, vice versa. So that's a really unnecessary bit of anxiety, which is you'll find is a common theme in this event. There's just a lot of unexplained weirdness and stuff that is not very well thought out. So hopefully things get a lot smoothed out. That's pretty much a basic explanation. There's also a quests. You use there's a quest kind of like the unlock for the Kraken or the Prince of Abyss, and it unlocks coral basically, and also new fish. Fish require the coral, as you'd expect. The quote-unquote coral is unfortunately really bad, which is like normal coral basically. The Witch's Pot gives you extreme amounts of vitality, you know, every second. The other ones give you less per minute, per 10 minutes, per 30 minutes, and an hour than the Witch's Pot gives per second, more or less. It's not too impressive, unfortunately. So you're gonna upgrade your Witch's Pot first, and it caps out at 9,000. So there's actually a limit to how much vitality and theoretically how many fish you can get. And the bad news is, if you have not played this game before, if you do not have any of the hidden fish from prior events, you probably can't complete the event as it is, because you need to make 203 fish, and there's not enough vitality to be able to do that. I have a friend of mine, Farmer Lesbian from the subreddit, has gone through this at a blistering pace that has far exceeded my own, and somehow has like completed the event, but she did not make as many fish as are required. And there's no real way to get more fish. Once the things are maxed out, that's really it. Even the in-app purchase fish does not really matter, because it just increases, you know, vitality production 10%, I guess, like the usual. It multiplies your crab skill, but that's for candy. It's like, there's not really anything you can meaningfully do. I don't know why there is even a cap. The cap doesn't make sense, because, like, they separated out the event. So, like, even if you ground this event to dust, and you got, like, 18 infinity bajillion candies, it doesn't matter, because the Christmas event's going to be in another tank, and it's going to have a separate currency. So, being able to infinitely grind in this event doesn't mean anything. I don't know why that would cap that. It's complete nonsense, frankly. And, it's probably the single worst problem of this event. It's just so unnecessary. As you can see, the crab is ready to go. This another annoyance is this event is extremely ad heavy. You can now watch every 5 minutes after casting the crab. You can watch another ad to get candy, and it's basically impossible to progress. Or no, it is impossible to progress without, you know, doing that many times, because there's fish that require up to 300 casts of Trick or Treat, which is an hour wait without ads, plus 50 candy clicks, or that's, you know, 300 ads. So this event, I'm not a big fan. I'll probably make, you know, a video detailing all of my likes and dislikes about it later on. Let's get to the fish, because I think we understand well enough how to do things. So it's really complicated how the hidden fish work this time too. So the 2006 and 2017 Halloween fish, which include the bonefish, mummy clownfish, ghost fish, spooky fish, all of those are not hidden. They have unlock requirements, but they are not hidden. So those you can just find the requirements just along here, and you just continue on. A lot of people have trouble with the first couple unlocks, I think, because they have not played the game before and don't really get how these things work. The mummy clownfish requires, what does it require? I have it here somewhere. I wrote it down just because people had problems. It requires to take a picture of the number 1 tombstone. There's 4 tombstones in the game. Just take and share 5 pictures of each, just so you don't have to worry about the unlocks. It gives them numbers, but they are not numbered. If you look, there's no number on here, so you don't know which one's which. Just take 5 pictures and share 5 pictures of each. You know, fake share. Just share and then cancel. There's 4 of them. They're all really easy to spot. They're not really hidden. It's not really an Easter egg hunt. But there'll be many other requirements that use those. But back to the My, you have to take a picture of the number 1 tombstone. Don't know which one it was. Just take a picture of all of them. And then you also have to own 33 event fish. Even though it's like way up here at the top, you have to own 33 event fish. And a lot of people get confused because that requirement doesn't appear over here. It appears over here on the lock icon. And a lot of the fish in this event do that. They have a requirement listed under the lock icon, which just makes everything extra confusing. A lot of these have basically 3 unlock requirements. And it lists 2 over here and 1 over here. And it doesn't sound that confusing, but a lot of times people don't look on the icon for it, so just be aware of that. A lot of people have trouble with the devil boxfish. You have to take a picture of the witch's pot And people don't realize, I think, you have to click on the witch's pot, take a picture. And I think that's what people get wrong there. I'm not going to list all of the other unhidden events, but or unhidden fish. But those are two people have a lot of trouble with, and I think that's why. So, on to the hidden fish for 2018. The first one here is the pumpkin blobfish. As you can see, you need to own Hermit Crab's pot, which is Hermit Crab. That's the basic thing. You already have that. I'm pretty sure you just start with that, so I'm not sure why that's a requirement. And you need to own 3 bonefish. And I forget if there was a requirement of fish or not. If it is, it'll be listed when it gets unlocked. I don't think there is, though. Then next is the Reaper Sea Pig. Take a photo of Devil Boxfish 1 time, and then own the Weeping Tree, which, to get the Weeping Tree, there are these quests. I'm not going to comment on all of the quest things because the quest unlocks, so they show you what your next thing is. There's not just a hint. It just explicitly shows you what you need to do, so it's not like a riddle like previously. I will list in the guide eventually all the requirements, but it's just extra info for this video, which is already going to be really long because this is complicated. So, Pumpkin Nautilus is up next. As you can see, the fish are just a mess. There's 58 fish, and they're kind of sorted in order that you unlock them, but not really, because these fall fish, like I said, insane requirements on those. So they're just kind of sorted in, like, size, like, rarity, I guess, but they're not really truly in order of unlocking, because the fall fish should be at the bottom. They're just kind of there. And what I really think they should have done is the quests have these nice little drop-down things so you can just expand and see, you know, oh, here's these things. What they should have done is have like a fall drop-down. You click that, it opens with all the fall fish. You know, have a 2018 Halloween drop-down, show all those fish, etc. By the way, obviously no new fall event. This, I guess, is the fall event. They kind of just subsumed the fish into this, which I guess is acceptable. Back to the unlocks. So, Vampire Seahorse. Oh, I did unlock that, huh? Vampire Seahorse. Take photo of a ghost seahorse 1 time. Own 5 Nautilus. Wizard Frog is the first hidden one that you're going to have some trouble with. Reach level 5 of Trick or Treat, which is you have to purchase with gems here. You do get enough gems to purchase that upgrade from the quest, so that's not too big of a deal. What are the other hidden fish? Then there's the Zombie Piranha, which, was that below? Where's the Zombie Piranha? Oh, and my bad. I accidentally read some non-hidden ones. This event's just so confusing because everything has so many requirements. There's only 4 hidden fish from 2018, actually. There's the Wizard Frog, which I just said. Zombie Piranha. Touch Bubble of Jellyfish 50 times. And again, all of these event unlocks only within this tank. So, yeah, that's kind of similar to how events have been in the past. It only, you know, refers to other event fish. But yeah, any jellyfish, which, you know, Reaper Jellyfish or Light Jellyfish or Ghost Jellyfish. Just touch the candy bubble above them 50 times total. And you have to own 5 jellyfish. So that one's not too bad. Oh, and you have to take 5 pictures of the 3rd tombstone. There's 3 unlock requirements on each of these. And they don't fully list on this thing, which is not helpful. Oh, and the frog needs 5 pictures of number 2 tombstone, whichever one that is. Like I said, just take 5 pictures of all the tombstones to save yourself some grief and confusion. Next up is the Vampire Penguin, which I do not have because it has an insane requirement. The Vampire Penguin, unfortunately, is the 300 trick-or-treat casts that I mentioned earlier. That's going to take you a long time. I use a macro in Nox to do that. Just search for tap Nox. If you have a PC or a Mac, you can set that up so basically it watches the ad for you, and it's like, with these requirements, it's almost like they want you to use the macro instead, because you can't even pay away these unlock requirements. They're just stupid. But yeah, you have to, for the Vampire Penguin, you collect candy from Wizard Frog 10 times, so obviously you have to unlock the Wizard Frog. Use Trick or Treat 300 times, that's the real gate. And take 5 tombstones of tombstone number 2, which is the one that unlocks the Wizard Frog, so I think you would have that already anyway, but I don't know. The unlocks are really weird this time. The unlocks are usually my favorite part of the events, and I don't think they did them very well this time. I'm not a huge fan. I am, however, a huge fan of the frickin' Witch House football fish, which is gigantic in the tank. It's the size of the 1,000-year-old blue whale, actually. It's really cool, it's really detailed, and it's, like, lagging the game, which might just be... I have some other emulators open, so that might be why. But to get the Witch House football fish, it's basically what you would expect of a capstone thing. You have to complete the Witch's Castle quest, which is the final quest, to unlock the coral, so to speak. So you have to do all of these other things, and you have to unlock the Witch's Castle, and you have to own one of every single other fish, including the Halloween Kraken, who is not hidden, but is a pretty tough cookie to get. To get the Halloween Kraken, you have to get every other fish except for the... well, no, you don't. You have to get all of the normal fish, not the hidden ones, but, I mean, you're still going to want to get at least one of each fish on the way to getting that 170 fish, which is a lot. And like I said, there is a hard cap. Well, a soft cap, but basically there's a cap on how many fish you can get. So in my there's a link in the description and my guide that lists how many of each fish you need to get. Total is 203 if you did not play any of the prior events. And like I said, that does not appear to be actually possible. So I'm assuming that once enough people complain, the devs will release an update that makes this event possible for people. So that'll looking forward to that, right? You know, it being possible. So back now to the fall 2017 fish. These all have totally new unlock requirements, which I don't actually like. This just seems really overcomplicated. What I liked is in how they repeated events before was just like, if you missed an event, if you missed the fall, you know, if you missed the spring event from last year, if you went to the spring event this year, it was the exact same thing with the exact same requirements, and it was very neat and tidy. And they even updated one of the later events so that you didn't have to, you know, have the old theme. You could use the new themes. You didn't have to spend real money to get the fish, which was, you know, a problem. But I kind of like that because there's already guides that show you how to do the thing. You get to experience the event exactly as other people did. You don't really miss out, and it was really neat. But now they're all different, and they're all really dang hard. So as I scroll through, you won't see, because I own them already, I can't see what the unlock requirement is, but I've got them. A Japanese site compiled them surprisingly quickly. I suspect data mining, honestly, because some of these don't seem genuinely possible, especially in this time frame. Because like I said, I don't think it's possible to get enough fish. Anyway, let's start from the top here. Star Sicklefish. Collect candy from whales 5 times. That sucks because the whales, as you can see, they kind of lazily go around and they're not really in the view from here. So the best way to collect stuff from a specific fish is just store everything, go into manage, store all fish, and then just only take out whales or whatever you're wanting to click from, and then do that a bunch. Take a picture of the 4th. Okay, so you collect candy from 5 whales, then you take a picture of the 4th whale or tombstone. And I don't know if it has to be after the other requirement. I don't think it does. But like I said, take 5 pictures of all the other tombstones. There's only 4 tombstones. It's really easy. So just do that real quick. For the Fall Forest Fairy Fish, you need Dubious Laboratory level 2000, which is really high. As you can see, I've just recently unlocked the Dubious Laboratory. And I've been playing with a macro since its release. So this is going to be a really slow one and a real slog. I don't mind a slower event, but like with all of the other problems, it's kind of problematic. But yeah, Dubious Laboratory level 2000. Acquire 5 bone dolphins and acquire 5 vampire manta rays. So like I said, there's other requirements to get these other fish first, and I'm not going to list those because they're not hidden, but it's a pretty complicated train, so just do your best, I guess. I don't know if anybody's worked out an exact roadmap of which specific fish you can go in which order, but it's just really complicated. That's right, train. Fall Forest Football Fish. Use Trick or Treat skill 200 times. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like I said, if you miss the fall event, you're super screwed. you're even more screwed than you think. Because you have to spend pearls for some of the later unlocks. I'm not kidding. It's ridiculous. So you have to use the Trick or Treat skill 200 times. You have to own 5 Fall Forest Fairy Fish. And you have to collect candy from Star Sicklefish 5 times. So it's mostly the Trick or Treat skill 1. That one's really hard. But you have to do it 300 times for the Vampire Penguin anyway. Which penguins don't really have teeth. So I don't know how that works. But, you know, video games. Fall Forest Dumbo Octopus, everyone's favorite extremely reused fish. Level 6000 Hungry Coffin, which again is one of the coral that you get by doing the quests. As you can see, again, I don't have that even though I'm a fair way into the event, so it's going to take you a fair while to get these. Collect candy from a dolphin 50 times. Then collect candy from Fall Forest Football Fish 10 times. So those aren't too bad. I don't really like the collect 50 times. I think collect 10 times from a specific kind of fish is fine. 50 to 100, that's kind of getting excessively grindy. And there's one later that'll make you hate everything. But just keep your eyes peeled for that. Or your ears, rather. Light Jellyfish, one of my favorites from the fall event. Own 10 full Fall Forest Octopi, which again, with a hard cap on how many fish you can buy, that's a really rude unlock. 10. And it's the Dumbo, which I'm like so over the Dumbos. You have to collect candy 150 times from jellyfish and share a picture of the Witch's Den. The Witch's Den is... Oh, I don't even have the Witch's Den. So, yeah, that's another thing you have to do the quest to unlock. Starstripe Marlin. Take 10 pictures while activating the Halloween Night skill. The Halloween Night is a single-use item that you spend 300 pearls on, which you can see I don't even have 300 pearls. How much does 300 pearls cost? Let's go to the shop and find out. 300 pearls. That's like $7 worth of pearls. That's really damn rude, frankly. That is extremely rude. Especially if this tank is like limited time. Because you might not like... So to do our thing, you get 25 pearls per day. So that's over 10 days. You know, that's what? 14 days just to cast it once. And you have to cast Spooky's Parade too. And the worst thing is there's 3 unlocks that require casting each of the pearl only things too. So you could potentially have to spend 900 twice. So 1,800 pearls. How much does 1,800 pearls cost? That costs about $50. This is butt crap. That's no good, Arenos. That's probably my least favorite part of the event. I honestly think that's even grosser than the fish cap, because I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna fix the fish cap. That just seems like they don't know how to do math, which is kind of a problem when your gameplay is literally just adding numbers together when you can't do math. Like you could have tested this in 5 minutes. Give yourself infinite candy, max out your, witch's thing, disable all hidden fish requirements, and just buy enough fish to get the final fish. And you'd be like, oh, this is actually impossible. Oh, hey guys, we need to take off the cap that has no reason to exist anyway. But yeah, stupid. Anyway, back to the Starstripe Marlin. So you have to get Riddle Jack-o'-lantern level 6,000. You have to collect candy 200 times from jellyfish, and you have to take 10 pictures while activating Halloween Night skill. To avoid wasting pearls while using the Halloween Night to activate that, you also need to take 30 photos, and you need to take 5 photos of the Fall Forest Football Fish, as well as take 10 pictures. So 30 pictures, 5 of them need to be the Fall Forest Football Fish. So that one's not too bad as long as you know that you need to do that. Which obviously people blindly bumbling around are not going to do that. Also, I have a written guide. This is harder to follow than usual for hidden fish. So I have a written guide. I really recommend it over the videos. The videos I consider more for fun and like, learning what's new rather than like a serious reference. I don't personally like video guides, I will admit. Okay, so next unlock is the Star Turtle. I'm sorry, there's no way to make this not confusing. It just is confusing because the event is this way. I'm just trying my best here. So the Star Turtle, take 10 pictures while activating the Spooky's Parade skill. That's another 300 pearl cast. So again, there's 3 things you're going to want to do when you do Spooky's Parade. You're going to want to take... Oh, there's 4 things, actually. That's great. Okay, so you need to take 30 pictures total, 10 for the Star Turtle, and 30 for another later unlock. You need to take 5 photos of the Fall Forest Manta Ray, which actually unlocks after this one. Which, that's kind of a problem, actually. Take 5 photos of the Star-Striped Marlin, so you might want to avoid getting the Star Turtle until you have the Fall Forest Ray, which I'm not entirely sure if that's possible. Let me double check. It is. It is possible to get the Fall Forest Ray first. Okay. It's just sorted down, even though it's not really below it in terms of unlock order. That's stupid. The Fall Forest Ray is ridiculous, though, but we'll get to that in a second. So yeah, Dubious Laboratory, 6,000. Take 10 pictures with the Spooky's Parade. For the Star Dolphin, take 30 pictures while activating Halloween Moon Night, which again, we covered that before. Collect candy 300 times from dolphins, which is not going to be fun. Again, go to Manage Fish, store all the fish, and, you know, just have all dolphins out and click until your fingers bleed and separate from your body. I think this is a really unfun event if you missed the 2017 Fall Fish. I don't understand why they're so rude. And they get worse. They get worse, honestly. So yeah, 30 pictures during Halloween Moon Night. 300 candy from dolphins. Own 5 Star Turtles, which is the previous unlock. The Star Ray, which took us the longest to confirm and is not 100% confirmed, but I'm pretty sure this is what it is. Collect candy 300 times from rays. That's going to take you a while. Same thing as last time. These are really unimaginative and really boring, grindy, terrible unlocks. I'm really disappointed in the unlocks. Usually hunting for the unlocks is like my favorite. And for every single fish in this entire event is just like, own 5 of this. Take 5 pictures of this tombstone. This needs to be this level. Take a photo of this. Spend real money on this skill. And that's all. Like, there used to be like, oh, you gotta play with a train. Oh, you gotta do an Easter egg hunt. You gotta, you know, have a fish in the tank for an hour. Okay, that last one was kind of stupid. But they had interesting things. My favorite was the 2017 Christmas. These unlocks suck. Anyway. Back to it. Star Ray. 300 candies from Rays. Witch's Den, level 6,000, which is crazy. That is the last one. The person I told you about, Farmer Lesbian, who has gotten the Halloween Kraken already, she doesn't have that yet. That's nuts. We're not even sure if that's possible, actually, which is why the Star Ray is unconfirmed so far. Because you eventually get a cap on how much vitality you can earn, and thus how much candy, so we don't know how practical that is. So 30 pictures with Halloween Night, 300 candy, or wait, no, sorry, that was I'm reading the Star Dolphin. Collect candy 300 times from Rays, which is done at level 6,000, and take 30 pictures while doing Spooky's Parades. We covered that in an earlier one. Fall Forest Ray, if you didn't think having to spend a bare minimum of 600 pearls is bad enough, the Fall Forest Ray requires Trick or Treat level 20. Level 20. And so this levels up. It starts with 250 and it levels up. It costs 50 extra each time. So level 20 is like, I can't do the math in my head. The compounding, not interest, but you know, the compounding stuff. But that's got to be over like 10,000 gems. That's ridiculous. So if you just started the game, these aren't possible. These aren't possible. They're just not. You'd have to spend a large amount of money to get gems and pearls, and then you'd still run out of fish. And it's terrible. I don't know how they let this go out in the wild. This is ridiculous. But I'm just here to read you the unlocks. Let them know on Facebook. Send them a direct message on Facebook if you're not happy with things about this. And let me remind you, it's okay to dislike things that are a part of something that you like. Wanting AbyssRium to be improved does not mean you hate AbyssRium. Every year, every event that has problems on the subreddit, somebody flips out and is like, "Why do you guys hate the event? You should be grateful, you filthy plebes. They go out here and they make a video game product for money, a consumer product for money, like the charitable people they are. You're supposed to shut up, open your wallet like the loser you are, and enjoy it." And it's like, no. This is a game, and like, if you love a game, you want it to be good. You want it to improve. You want things to get better. If a game has flaws, you should point it out. You should be polite about it. You shouldn't be one of those morons that sends death threats because they nerfed your sniper rifle. That's awful. But if there's a bad anti-consumer thing, you can send them a message on Facebook and be like, "Hey, really enjoy the game, but it would be better if you did this." That doesn't make you a hateful person. That makes you a reasonable fan. Anyway, this, as you can tell, this event irritates me. Anyway, Star Ocean Sunfish, less insane here. Acquire 10 star rays, which, I mean, you have to own the star ray already, so it's insane, but... And you have to make 10 of them, which, again, there's so many of these stupid unlocks that are like, yeah, make a crazy amount of this fish. Make a bunch of this one, too. 10 star rays, 5 photos of the Starstripe Marlin while activating the Spookies Parade. So, again, that's, you know, you have to waste stuff for the skills. And then... this is stupid. And then you have to collect candy 100 times from other sunfish, which there's, you know, Franken sunfish and the ghost sunfish. So that one's not as bad, but you're gonna get really tired of tapping 100 candies, and there's no way to count. There's no counter for how many candies you've tapped. You just have to wait until it unlocks, which makes those really unfun. For the ones where you have to tap X amount of times, those should really not be hidden fish, in my opinion, so you can count the things. They changed that in one event. There was a non-hidden fish that wanted that, and I was like, oh, this is nice. Like, the Egyptian event rolled out, and I was like, oh my gosh, the devs finally get it. This is great. And then my dreams are destroyed. Anyway. Fall Forest Narwhal. Collect candy. You guessed it, my friends. Collect candy 100 times from narwhals. Who could have guessed? Acquire 10 Fall Forest Manta Rays. What a surprise. And then acquire 10 Lamp Narwhals. Wow. Wow, really unique, really interesting, really fun unlocks. It's not the same thing as literally the last 10 fish. No, it's fun. It's fun. It's enjoyable. It's cool. Yeah, it's really cool. Star Whale. Collect candy 200 times from whales. That's gonna make you hate yourself. That's gonna make you hate everyone. Because whales... Look how many whales are on screen. I have like 10 whales in this tank. How many whales do you see on screen? You see half of one. You see half of one. So again, store everything but the whales and then pray to whatever deity you believe in. 100 candy or 200 candy from whales. It's 200. Like 10 candy from whales is punishing enough. 200. Like seriously, the fall 2017 unlocks sound like a joke, like a cruel joke of like, man, if I was a real jerk, this is what I would make people do. Yeah, I'd make them click whales 200 times because the whales swim way far out and it's really hard. It's stupid. Acquire 5-star sunfish, which not too hard except, you know, the unlock of the star sunfish itself. Take 5 photos of star turtles while activating Halloween Moon Night. So again, that's something you're going to want to do at the same time as you do the Halloween Moon Night. Which is annoying because I think you basically have to have both of them active at the same time to do some of the things, because like they're interdependent in like a complicated way, and it's stupid and terrible. I don't think, personally, here's my thought. Nothing in an event should depend on your progress in the main game. That should include gems, pearls, vitality. Progress in the main game should be totally separate from events, and that's always the way it was, except from Song of the Moon. And they kind of fixed that when they went to the Hermit Crab. I think the Hermit Crab events were perfect. I think the Egyptian event was the perfect balance. We didn't have Song of the Moon, but the Hermit Crab really made up for it. You could easily buy one of each of the fish just by playing and casting the crab X amount of times per day. It was very reasonable. It was fun. And it had, you know, they didn't want Song of the Moon because they're just crazy about it. And this one, not so much. Anyway, we're not quite done yet because Fall Forest Whale. Take 5 photos of the Fall Forest Manta Ray while activating Spooky Spray. That's another one of the stupid pearl unlocks. Acquire 5 forest narwhals. Collect candy 200 times from sharks. So, again, all of these unlocks are the same, like 4 or 5 things. Just with different things that you gotta do the thing for. Instead of whales, it's dolphins. Instead of dolphins, it's sharks. Instead of sharks, it's octopi. It's just the same stuff. It's so boring. So this both has the most hidden fish, but also the least unique requirements, and it's just a mess. And again, regarding like progress, making, you know, progress in the main game, making it harder or easier for the event. If you did the Fall Forest event, this thing is really easy. I think this event is basically fine other than the cap, as long as you have all of the Fall Forest fish. Some things I think are kind of silly. I think they made some bad UI decisions. For instance, putting the unlock requirement over here is stupid. They should all be over on the same thing. I think they did a poor choice of how the fish unlock. You know, it's a lot of the same stuff. I think the fish sorting is bad. But really, if you take out the fall unlocks, it's pretty reasonable. With the fall unlocks, it's quite possibly impossible. Which sounds like an oxymoron, but it isn't. Because you need 203 fish, which you do not seem to be able to purchase. I'm sorry this went on so long, but there's just so much to say, and like I said, the written guide, I really would recommend reading the written guide, but if you're confused and you need more info, that's kind of what the videos are for, I guess. You know, to kind of walk you through the whole process. I think this idea has a lot of potential. I think the separate tank is not the worst idea in the world, but I wish we could interchange the fish. And here's another thing. Speaking about being able to interchange the fish, you can buy... So there's 3 new in-app purchase fish, which I think is kind of rude in and of itself. And this new notification for the witch never goes away. There's a witch for $10. I actually kind of like the witch. I think she's very cute. I think it's a much better design. It's obviously based on, you know, the princess and the other mermaid, but I like her design a lot. I was a little bit tempted to pay to get, but like, I don't really want to support an event that I consider very anti-consumer, so I'm not going to. But say you buy the Little Witch. In every other event, that means you can fill your normal tank with the Little Witch, with the thing you bought, because you paid your money for it, so you get to make it, right? Well, let's take a look at the good old manage fish tab and the regular tank. I'm sure the Little Witch will be in there, right? Because you paid for it, so you should be able to. Oh. You're not the Little Witch. No. Where's the witch? Yeah, if you buy the witch, you can't put her in the saltwater tank. You can't put her in the freshwater tank. Not even as a super partner. Totally separate. Completely separate in like a bad way. No way currently. Like say you had every event fish from 2006 except for the bone whale, right? And you're like, oh, I want to complete my collection and put my bone whale in my saltwater tank. Nope. because the bone whales that you buy in the Halloween tank, they don't go here. They don't go into this tank. They stay in there forever. So hopefully, again, let the devs know on Facebook your feedback. Send them a direct message. They don't read wall posts. You can email them too if you don't use Facebook, but Facebook is the thing they respond to the most. Yeah, to send them feedback, but I think ideally you should be able to interchange fish between the different things, like add a section of the manage fish thing. And again, the in-app purchase thing does not fix. People have gotten stuck in this event that have purchased the Little Witch, which is so insulting. Imagine spending $10 on a free-to-play game, you know, and you can't. It's literally impossible to complete, even when you paid money. That's ridiculous. I wonder if that's like, maybe it's possible with the Halloween Moon Knight and they like want you to spend real money for pearls, because that's gross. It's given me strong Valentine's vibes. I think it's less upfront offensive than the Valentine's thing, but Valentine was possible. This one, if you're not lucky, or if you've started completely from scratch, it may genuinely just be impossible. And if it's not impossible, it definitely requires spending, like I said, like $50 worth of currency. If they expect you to spend $50 worth of currency every single event, they can take their game and shove it up their ass. I'm sorry to say. That's nuts. Even the Valentine's Day event, like, it was like, hey, if you buy this stupid platypus, the event does not suck nearly as much. So that's like a $10 fix the event versus $50 consumables to maybe fix the event. So, cool idea, very, very poor execution, which frankly kind of applies to AbyssRium at all times. The developers, it's kind of a clown show. They never communicate with fans. They make all kinds of mistakes, bugs, translation errors, events that are literally impossible now, crazy bugs, weird, nonsensical design choices. Like the cap doesn't make sense, because the whole thing about the different tanks is that, oh, if you have infinity vitality in the Abyss thing and you go to freshwater, oh, you don't have any of that vitality. So it doesn't matter if you get OP in one of the tanks, because it doesn't affect the other ones. There's no point for the caps. The cap is just to like slap you in the face and be like, hey player, stop having fun. You're enjoying our game. Stop it. Stop it right now. And it's like, what? Stupid. Stupid. By the way, is anybody... Oh, it freaking crashed. I was going to say, is anybody else's freshwater tank super laggy? Yeah, it's apparently so bad it crashed this time. That's a surprise. Yeah, the freshwater tank gives me I think they raised the fish cap, and I don't think it was ready for that. Anyway, that's the Halloween event. It has some cool stuff. I do hope you enjoy it. I don't want people to be mad. I don't want people to not enjoy it just to agree with me or anything. I do... Contrary to certain people's belief, I do not enjoy when people do not enjoy the game, because I have to hear everyone's complaints. I like it when everyone is super happy and the events are great. That is what I like. I do not like complaining. I do not actually get more views because of outrage. Like the Valentine's Day event, I got my least views for any event ever on that. Well, I got more views on YouTube, but I got so many less guide views. Just people didn't play it or didn't look up guides. I don't benefit from people not liking this game. So, some conspiracy theories, BTFO. That was a common thread among people who got mad at me during the Valentine's Day event because I wanted a video game to be fun. Screw me, right? Screw me. I mean, some people wanting video games to be fun, wanting, you know, video games to be pro-consumer. It's ridiculous. Anyway, that's the Halloween event. Hopefully it gets some updates. Again, written guide in the description if any of that was hard to follow, because it is. Because it's just a mess.